Just as it is the slimy, rotting, creepy, crawly, infested earth that nourishes the flowers and trees. Ponder on this. Are you pondering? That is ponderable. The sign position of Pluto will give some idea on how you piece what it is. All right, today is January the 17th. Sun is 27 degrees Capricorn. The moon is 23 degrees Pisces. Mercury is 14 degrees Aquarius. Venus 11 degrees Cap. Mars 5 degrees Taurus. It switched Duads, so it is in the Cancer Duad now. Okay, just so you see that. It's switching today once it hits the 5 mark. Cancer. That's what we doing. The daily Duad watch, baby. We gotta watch these Duads because that's that subtle energy that switches that switches things up. Okay, Jupiter is 6 degrees Aquarius, Saturn 3 degrees Aquarius, Uranus 6 degrees Taurus, Neptune 18 degrees Pisces, and Pluto. Pluto is the topic today because the Sun transited Pluto 3 days ago on the 14th of January. Now, the 14th of January was the day when Donald Trump put out that no, I don't know exactly what it was, like some form of proclamation of some sort that said how he's bringing in the military. Well, not bringing in the military, forgive me. Barring China from certain things because he believes they have an influence over Biden and the Democratic Party and basically the deep state, Illuminati, hell, whatever you want to call it. And I showed that video, and I personally, I showed on my video where that Chinese guy basically saying the same thing, saying that they got friends at the top from he said in that video from 92 to 2016. That's Clinton through Bush through Obama. I mean, it fits perfectly. Anyway, so the Sun was transiting Pluto at that time. Pluto in Capricorn is said to represent a changing in power because Pluto represents transformation. Pluto is really your oversouls. It's more so kabbalistically connected to Doth or Kether, which would be the crown. So it's more so the oversoul, the general, the driving force behind you or behind humanity over a certain period of time. More so in your chart, you want to focus on what house yours is in. Mine specifically, if FYI, if you wanted to know, is in the first house. In my first house in Scorpio, it's home sign. FYI, just throw that out there. In at 2 degrees, so it's his home duad as well. But I don't mean to brag, Bill. Brag about planet placements like it. But anyway, seriously though, Pluto represents changing, represents transformation, destiny, bigger plans, things of that nature. That the Kundalini energy is can be representative of that. But, what ultimately sparks it up would be more so the Mars energy or what have you. But I digress. I don't want to start talking about other things. Let's stay focused. Now, on that day, Trump put that out on the 14th when the Sun is transiting Pluto. I believe that is a sign of the things to come. Now, the thing that made me that what makes me say this is because the last time Pluto was in Capricorn was, let me just show you. It's very interesting. An historical view. So you see it's here. It came into Capricorn in 08, right when Obama got in office. Right? It's going to be out of Capricorn in 24. So we got about 3 more years, right? But check this out. Pluto, you can read this if you like. Pluto was last in Capricorn from November 1762. Listen, what that sound like? Until December 1st, 1778. Now what is that? What is that? Okay, so 1776 was what? Declaration of Independence. Okay. So when this country was founded, Pluto was 27 degrees Capricorn. Today, 240 years later, right? Ain't it been 200? No, it can't be 240. 244 years later, right? Ain't it 244 years? Yeah. Okay, do my math right. Okay, that's important because my wife just came in. That's important because this country is only 244 years old, and a Pluto cycle. I can show you better than I can tell you. The Pluto cycle is 248 years old. So let's read this since we right here, and I'm gonna go back up and read this when I come back. As Pluto takes 240 years to orbit the sun, the critical points are determined by quartering the cycle. There is usually only one critical point. This occurs owing to very irregular orbit of Pluto as early as your late 40s, which is usually 20th century births, as some years later. At this time, then you are liable to be subject to pressures that force you to let go of the past in some way. The changes are that you will blame this necessity on something that is apparently outside of your control, like the government or the climate, economic, meteorological, etc. Really, though, it is something deep inside of you that has got itself stuck, so you will need to dig around to find out what it is. As a result of rooting out what is holding you back, you will find the previous unseen door of opportunity open for you. All right, I'll give you that science because that's just kind of what it is. Talking about when it's like when Pluto is like 90 degrees from your natal, wherever it is in your natal chart, when it's transiting a 90-degree angle, because it's not, obviously you're not gonna live 248 years, but let me see, if you divide 248 by 4, you get like 60, right? 62. So in 62 years, it'll be 90 degrees, roughly around. It'll be 90 degrees away from from the natal position it was when you were born. Therefore, that transit may affect you. That's what this is talking about, because obviously we don't live 248 years. But you know what does live 248 years is a government. Okay? Now, in 1776, when this government was founded, it was founded upon the falling Moroccan nation. Now, whether you want to believe that shit or not is on you. I ain't got time. You can go do your own history research. We talking astrology. All right, so my point in that, before I just give you the science on what Pluto represents, is that this country is obviously going for a major change within the next. It already did, and it's in the continuation for the next year or so. You understand what I'm saying? Just so happen, right? Pluto is this country is having a Pluto return. We can't have Pluto returns, obviously. We don't live 250 years. But this country and what's happening when it does, the truth about it is coming out. We're seeing how corrupt this government is. By way of Biden and Trump. I mean, that's our options. That's our options right now. And Donald Trump, is the good guy in this situation, in this scenario. And like, what kind of shit is that? Anyway, let's not get political. All right, so just to say, that's very interesting, especially the date that Saturn is returning to the exact same degree as it was on July 4th, 1776. I'm not going to tell you. I'll let you figure it out. It's very intriguing. But anyway, so let's read this. Pluto is the seed of power within. This can amount to a sense of destiny or just obsession. All this can be seen as a deep inner program, rather like an acorn is the blueprint of potential of an oak tree. What I say, doth in the Kabbalistic tree of life. Come on now. Pluto is a force to be reckoned with. For being the lord of the underworld, it urges you to permeate to hidden causes and more profound levels of consciousness. Penetrate, to hidden causes. It is the power of death and transformation and of sexuality and in the secret of birth and rebirth and many other things. If you don't know, your sexual energy is your kundalini energy. This is the science behind tantra and not having sex, retention, things of that nature. So Pluto either regenerates or destroys, nothing in between. More than any other planetary force, it has the power to harm or to heal, and by taking, it shows your, and by the same token, it shows your depth and insight. Okay, regenerates and destroys. Is the United States corporation, so-called country, about to be regenerated or destroyed right now? What does it look like? Do it look like we on a path for rebirth and good things, or do it look like we on a path for fucking war with each other over fucking colors and like any color game? Like we okay, let me Pluto the moon's in Pisces, so I will go off on y'all today, but I'm trying to refrain. Pluto's main modes of operation, and the moon is transit is sextile Pluto right now too. I just thought about that. Anyway, Pluto's main modes of operation are those of intensification of what must and shall be, of elimination of what is outworn. In other words, in order for your destiny to fulfill itself, there are certain times in your life and parts of your personality that is a very that in a very uncompromising fashion force you to connect with the inner truths of your being in particular and of life in general, often by destroying anything that gets in the way of this. Moors. Unfortunately, most of us have been led to believe that this is a taboo, and to own and express such that it is taboo to own and express such powers. So what Pluto so frequently has to eliminate is our very resistance to our own power, something that was manipulated out of us a long time ago in order to control us. Horror is what is commonly used to keep us fearful of the power within, rather than the enormous tree rather like the enormous tree-headed dog Cerberus who guarded the gates of hell. But hell can be seen as simply the underside of life that actually fills the top side, that feeds the top side. Satan, get thee behind me. Do you get it?
Message!
Just as it is the slimy, rotting, creepy, crawly, infested earth that nourishes the flowers and trees. Ponder on this. Are you pondering? That is ponderable. The sign position of Pluto will give some idea on how you experience individuality or as part of a generation, some or all of these qualities. To get a more personal sense, determine the house position of Pluto. What I just tell you. For example, Pluto in Gemini, I just happen to be in the first house, could express itself powerfully. Now, how does this relate to me in some kind of way? For example, Pluto in Gemini. I'm a Gemini. My Pluto ain't in Gemini though. In the first house, but I just told you my Pluto is in the first house. Could express itself as powerful Pluto, communicative Gemini, physical presence, first house. Lawrence Oliver had this placement. This could also mean a penetrating look that is also hard to see through. I don't know who the hell that is. You can figure that out. But I think that was very, very insightful. I hope you are pondering on this. Like real talk. So, I was gonna keep going. I was gonna read some more. I got some more to read, but I think that's a good foundation. I'm just gonna put it up. I'm gonna let y'all read this other snippet I got from another book. You get you a better idea of Pluto energy. But you understand that is your God energy. That is that fuck it in your system. Real talk. So peace and love. Y'all take it easy.